and welcome to the 3D Book Club. This is our first time doing this, and this week's book, can I see the book? You can put it on me. Did you click record? Okay. Is Rich Dad, Poor Dad? And let's go ahead and get started. So if you're here, can you leave us a comment? Let us know you're here. All of those things. So that way we can have a conversation. We're going to try this. We're going to announce a book at the end for next month that we're going to do that we want you guys to read. And hopefully you'll give us some feedback in terms of what's happening, why this is happening, and how we can make this a little bit better for you. So Michelle, let's go ahead and put all three of us up. And I'm joined today right here in the middle by my lovely wife. And I apologize if I get irritated with her. She's a bit irritating today.
Well, you did call us clowns this morning, so.
I mean, have you seen that shirt you're wearing? I mean, it's pretty colorful.
I almost wore that one today, so
it's pretty colorful like a clown.
We could have uniforms, you know.
Well,
we could wear matching outfits next time.
I feel like everyone needs to take a good stretch before we start.
Yeah.
So everyone, hands up, and bring them down. And let's do it one more time. Hands up, and bring it down. I saw Tony Robbins do that. I thought it would be a little Tony Robbins today. Okay?
He's a man.
No,
Yeah.
I know. I saw him, and I wanted to be Tony Robbins for a minute. Okay. Now, do we have anyone watching?
Yes, we have 12 people watching.
Oh, hey, guys. Hey.
You got to put it close to your mouth.
Oh, sorry.
I know that's
Okay.
hard.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
anyways,
Okay.
he thinks he's funny. I got to pick the book this time. This was kind of my idea. I wanted to do something different. I know that you guys talk a lot about dentistry. And while that's very exciting, sometimes I feel like I need to be part of this. So I decided I would like to do a book club, and we're not doing dental book clubs. We're doing
Yet.
Maybe at some point.
every now and again.
He wants to do the Paul Homily book. That might happen. But right now we're starting with some books for like practical purposes, and not just for dentists, for dental hygienists, for psychiatrists, for whoever wants to listen. I mean, really everyone can grow, and that's really what we want to do, is help people grow. Correct?
That's what I want to do.
Yeah. So.
And I think this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it's a book that, quite frankly, I've never read. And
Until now.
You had to put the slide up.
yeah, so this is going to be hard. Can I have the thing? I'll be able to do that better.
Okay, sorry, we've got technical difficulties. This is our first one. But actually, I'm really excited because Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
You're going to have to go around it. It's not that you're doing the wrong job. It's just that there's a lot of buttons.
So it was written by Robert Kiyosaki, and I probably pronounced that wrong, but he's well known. A lot of people, this book's been written many, many years ago. A lot of people have read it. I am a TikToker, and on TikTok.
TikToker, is that a new thing?
Yeah. And so on TikTok, you know, while we're sleeping, we're watching TikTok, Meredith and I. And while we're doing that, I mean, I've seen a lot of young people trying to get into the, you know, real estate market, trying to grow. And a lot of them follow his principles, which I was really surprised with. So I was interested. I wanted to explore kind of what that was. I am, you know, Darren, you know, he's well known. He knows how to do this stuff. And
I think that's an important part that we need to talk about. It's not that, I think part of the problem is that I think I conceptually understand this stuff.
You do.
Okay, I very much conceptually understand this stuff. But as my wife will tell you, I don't necessarily execute all of this stuff. And some of it has to come from a level of fear
that you'll lose it.
Yeah, man, I don't want to lose it. I've worked hard to get it. And I think a lot of us suffer from that thing. So I think really the concept of Rich Dad, Poor Dad is not about whether you're rich or poor.
It has nothing to do
and
with that.
I think it's more about how you, I'll tell you the story, okay? This hit me when I was at my dad's house probably right before Christmas, a couple of months ago. I was over there talking to him, and we were talking about planning and tax planning, and we'll announce tomorrow that we're buying a new building for 3D dentists, and we're going through all of that stuff. And we were talking about that, and my dad kind of made he made a comment to me with love. I'm pretty sure it was with love, and he says, "You have figured out the concept of how to make money. but you haven't figured out the concept of how to make your money work for you.
So that's what this book's about. So if you think about it, my dad, your dad, we actually lived with the rich dad. And what I mean by that doesn't mean that they necessarily have money. That's not what I'm talking about. Our rich dads learned how to make their money work for them. And so we were able to grow up in a household like that. So some of these principles in here, we kind of knew, but at the same time, we're not acting on them. And we've turned into these like hamster wheels. We're just going to work every day. And then, buying this and buying that and trying to, but we need long-term, I guess like assets that are going to help us grow, so.
And I think one of the things I would say about that is that, and I'm very guilty of this, we have a tendency to overcomplicate this. And I think the conversation I had with you and Michelle a couple of weeks ago was a good fundamental start for most people. And here's the truth, okay?
I think you're a really good teacher.
Well, that is half of what he does for a living.
Sure.
Half of what he does for a living.
Well, no, I mean,
can
what
be a
I
good
mean by
teacher.
that is
Yeah.
sometimes what happens is it's paralysis by analysis. He gets so,
he can tell someone else what to do, and he's like,
and it's clear in his mind what to do. So sometimes
Yeah.
you can be that poor dad. You
Oh,
are a
100%.
great
Yeah.
educator. You're a great, you want to push people, and you can push everyone else, but sometimes you need to be pushed.
I get stuck,
Yeah.
100%.
easier said than done sometimes.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
lie. I mean, it's 100% I get stuck. And I have rich dad tendencies and I have poor dad
Absolutely.
tendencies.
Like, you
And-
know
but
the
here's-
rich dad
here's-
stuff.
But I'll tell
Yeah.
you, where I'm rich dad is my willingness to start dental businesses.
Well, let me explain.
Where I'm poor dad is my willingness to invest into the market or real estate because I'm just...
Nervous Nelly.
Yeah.
I've had some bad family experiences with
We
it.
all
Right.
have, right?
Yeah.
But
I
let me-
agree with that.
Yeah, I
Me
mean,
too.
we all have, right?
Yeah.
So
Let's real quick.
before-
What is your bad family experience?
Wait, before
been?
we do that, I just want to say what a rich dad is and what a poor dad
Okay.
is, because we didn't even talk about
Do
that.
we have a
Then
slide
I
for
wanna
that
hear-
one?
Then I think that each one of us should talk about our experiences, because
Yeah.
we've all experienced this, and that's why we are anxious, right?
Right.
So you don't have a slide on that. So Robert talks about his two fathers. His two fathers. One is his biological father. He calls him I think he's the rich dad. And his father is very educated. I think he has maybe a PhD or something like that. I mean, very high
He's
level.
the poor dad.
He's the poor. No,
Yeah.
he's the rich dad. And the poor dad is the one who makes the money. Right? I don't know.
No.
You have the opposite.
Hold
Yeah.
on.
The
Is it?
educated is the poor dad. He works for his
Right,
money.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
And the uneducated is the rich dad.
Okay, they know
He
more
knows
than-
how to invest,
So-
and his money works for him.
Right. And so the poor dad is his best friend's father. So really
Yes.
what happened was they were young kids, and they they came up to him. They talked to, I guess, his biological father, and they said, hey, we want to make some money. We want a business. The two little kids, they were like 7 or 8 at the time. So they went to him, and he said, well, your friend, this kid's dad is actually really good at it. He has tons of businesses. And so they talked to him about it, and then he said, well, in order for you to do this, you're going to have to follow me. And so there's the whole first chapter is really about what happened. And he tells them that I'm going to go ahead and teach you, but I'm not going to pay you anything.
Right. Makes him work
He makes them work.
and never shows up.
And no, he shows up. I think he does show up, but he doesn't pay them.
Yeah.
And they are so angry, and they're like, I can't believe this. So basically he was teaching them, if you show up and you're going to learn so much, and it's not about the money. But then like slowly he teaches them more. Am I correct? And the other father was all about education, and he was about hard work. So that was the difference, I think, right?
Yeah, growing up, my dad used to tell me that I should be a dentist because it allows me to earn capital, which is money, to then invest into things that allow me to make money. And that's the real beauty of a healthcare professional.
Well, it
is
helps
that you
your
can,
money make money.
right, because you have you have cash flow.
Right.
Because you have a potential to earn a good amount of money.
To be able to put into other things.
and you should be putting into other things.
Right.
And I think that's where you're much better than me. Okay.
Well, and I think the thing is, I'm not, because I mean I like.
Well, when it comes to my practice, I'll put money right into that thing.
No, but I like Louis Vuitton and I like Chanel and I like.
But it's a percentage.
And you
It's-
like Land's End.
And you like Land's End, but if you look, even that's a new
Land's
thing
End.
that like people are looking at, and they're like, we're just wasting our money.
you would have been
Like,
proud of our furniture shopping today.
but Chanel does hold its value.
All right,
I
let's
know,
keep
but we
moving
didn't buy
on
Chanel
here.
furniture today.
But my point is, there's a point to me, is that is not making us money. What
Right.
they're saying is to save that money, buy some real estate,
Right.
and then
Invest,
go from there. Okay. Or something.
So we have a little bit of interaction. Jeff here has said people who avoid failure also avoid success.
That's true. I
That
agree.
is.
And
Yeah.
that's what it is. That's the thing that stops us. It's
Yeah.
like, it's
We're scared to
basically,
fail.
yeah, we're scared to fail.
Well,
We're scared-
I'll argue that some people feel that they're too poor to do any of this stuff.
like
Yeah.
you feel that.
No, well,
You do. You started that way.
Yeah.
You know
look,
that.
I was poor.
Maybe 20 years ago.
But what I mean by that, and I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way, but again, for me, everything relates back to dentistry because that's
Right.
what I eat, live, and breathe. But what I see is that 90% of dentists make a very good living. Okay, a small percentage of them are very entrepreneurial, very rich dad oriented, and a vast majority of them are very poor dad oriented. But they make enough money to where they'll be able to sustain their life into retirement and stuff. But then 90% of our industry are non-dentists, and that's assistants, hygienists, front office people,
So to me,
dental reps, and they often don't make the money that the dentists make, and they often feel held back from that. And part of what I want to say from the book is that at the minimum, what you should be doing is maximizing your tax incentivized retirement planning to minimize how much you pay in taxes so that you do start slowly building a nest egg. And my concept of forced savings every single month. I think, Michelle, I noticed that I had to make some updates for you in payroll this month
Good.
for that. So that's very good.
So let's start with the big 5 ideas,
Yeah.
and I'll have you discuss, both of you. The poor and the middle class work for money, and the rich have money work for them. What does that mean to you all? But that's like a big point in this. So the poor and the middle class work for money. The rich have money work for them.
Yeah. So to me, what that means is that you put your money to work in the sense that, for example, if you have an extra $10,000, instead of letting it sit in the bank, you'll put that $10,000 into even a low stock bearing account where that stock market will go up 5, 6, 7% annualized and do something like that, where there may be a little bit more sophisticated or risk person will then say, you know what, I'm going to take that $10,000 and I'm going to borrow $50,000 against it. I'm going to go buy a small townhouse that will now, my $10,000 will leverage a $50,000 asset, and I'm going to get rent from that $50,000 asset that actually pays the mortgage. So really, I'm making money by just leveraging my $10,000.
Well,
and we started with that. We started with cockroach, not just motels, but cockroach townhouses that my dad bought out of foreclosure for literally $20,000. And so he had to put $2,000 down to borrow $20,000. And then we were getting, I think it was $275 a month in rent, which is,
Did you imagine?
look, hey,
I know.
slumlords.
But let me tell you, so other things people do is that Bur Method. And so do you want to go over the Bur Method? That's not written in the book, but that's something I keep reading on TikTok, which I am taking to heart. So the Bur Method is buy, R is renovate.
Rehab, renovate.
Rehab or
Yeah.
renovate. And then the other
Rent.
R is rent. Refinance.
And repeat.
And repeat.
Yeah.
And yes. And so what that means is, a lot of people, what they're doing, this is a great time to buy property. However, it's,
Soon will be very good.
soon it might be good because
It'll be a better time.
you have to find, it sounds bad. It sounds like we're doing something to take advantage of people, but you're really not. You're just taking advantage of an opportunity, as
for yourself
everyone should.
and for your family.
As everyone
Right.
should. And by buying these places, you're also able to rent it out to people who can't get the loan. So you are doing good.
You're helping people.
You're helping people,
Yeah.
but you're also helping yourself. And there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
And you're creating assets for later in life, too.
And you don't need to be a dentist or a doctor to do this. This should be anyone, because you can take your money and leverage it, or you can partner up with someone these are things that
Well,
we need to do.
So you just talked about partnering up.
Yeah.
And I always say one of the things my dad taught me, because this is just the way we grew up. But one of my things my dad always talked to me about, or I heard him talking about, is when you do a partnership, typically somebody either has a need for labor or a need for money.
Right.
Okay.
That's exactly what I said.
So somebody so for example, we're in a situation where we have money,
Right.
but we
can't
need
do the
somebody
labor,
to do the flipping
So
and
I told her
and
today,
the renovation.
I said, you don't need them, they need you.
Right.
Yeah.
But they don't want to do the
we
work,
also need
so
them
that's
too.
not a good,
Yeah.
a good partner for
so
you.
we don't need somebody that brings money necessarily. We
You
need
need
somebody that
someone-
brings brute force
Right.
of getting it done.
That's what
right?
exactly
I will
what I told
happily
you
give
today.
someone money.
Yeah.
Because then it helps me, because I want to do something.
Right.
And the stock market honestly scares me, you know? So everyone's different.
Yeah.
The stock market could be great for one person.
But Reddit could turn it backwards, upside down.
So I want to read a
tomorrow.
couple of comments real quick.
Okay.
we love comments.
Yeah, thank you. Animesh Bhatti, one of our peoples.
Woo!
The brown people, we're in the house. My biggest takeaway was let money work for you.
Yes.
And the whole discussion about assets versus liabilities,
Right.
quite an eye-opener. And we'll come to that one.
Yeah.
Okay,
we
Yeah,
have, we
it's
have a
coming.
slide for
We're
that.
going to come to that one. Our good friend Mila Gross Galvez. And this, I bet you there are a lot of people, I feel this way, okay? A lot of people who feel this way. I'm scared to invest in the market because I don't understand it. I
agree.
survived a big depression in my country of Peru, and then here in 9/11, and now this pandemic.
Yep.
I need a good, savvy accountant to help me reduce my taxes.
We'll
Now,
also talk about that.
I want to say, you don't need a
tax
good,
bracket?
savvy accountant.
You need to be the savvy accountant.
Yeah, you can't. See, I think that's part of the problem. We can't depend on others to control our success.
Honestly, yeah. So that's the thing. I feel like you really do have to do your own research. And reading this book was just the beginning, right?
Right.
There's many other books that are out there. But for me, it was because I was scared to invest. And I'm like, am I being stupid? Like, should I invest? And so this book kind of helped me, because I had the more real estate mindset. So this helped me with that. But I am going to read a book on investing because I see all these people making all this money and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? But I think overall what I've read is that long term is good. These day trading and stuff can be really, really dangerous.
Yeah, everybody has a look. I always look at all of those things: stock market, day trading, real estate. I look at all of those as that's a diversification of what you do. It's okay to have a portion of your money in those things.
If you're okay losing it.
Well,
Yes.
but
Like
you have to
I
go
guess
into,
you have to be
you have
okay
to go
losing
into
any of
anything
it.
losing money.
Yeah.
We're okay to
But
lose it.
especially the days. So.
Yeah, but even real estate in 2008, 2009,
Right.
it was horrible, right?
But it was great in 2009,
but then it was
2010.
great,
For the
you take
people
advantage
who
of the day
could
later.
borrow money.
But,
Right.
but so you kind of have to think both ways. I mean, there's risk with everything.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of figure out what is your kind of max risk that you're ready to take.
So the 5 big ideas. Do we have some more to that?
So
Yeah.
the next one is, it is not how much money you make that matters. It's how much you keep.
So that would be a problem for us. Remember those vision boards that had saving on one side and a Rolex on the other? That was a problem.
Yeah.
I've crossed off the Rolex.
Good.
So
Crossed
that's
it
the
off.
You
thing.
can give one from Chinatown.
No, but
Well,
honestly,
I'm good.
No, honestly, reading once again and talking about this more, I think I realized that I don't need things.
Right.
Like
Can I get that in writing?
Shut up.
No.
I need to do this so we can have a comfortable retirement. Like I need to save.
Yeah.
I need to invest. And so, but like, do I need Chanel? Do I need that dress? I probably need the dress, but I don't need the Chanel. So I mean, that's the
Maybe
thing.
one, but not 10.
But I don't need 10.
Yeah.
And so like, and honestly, when you just keep buying, like you just feel gross, you know. So I think
you?
like,
No.
not always. But,
No.
but okay.
But nonetheless, so again, my whole point in the saving money thing is automate it. Every month,
right. Yeah.
every month, every paycheck.
Like, just take it
I tell
out.
I tell you guys, take out $50 a paycheck. And I say put it in a separate banking institution, not even your bank account, because I don't want you to see it. I don't even want it to be in the same bank that you're in. I want it to be gone so that you never have a tendency to see it. And to me, before you invest in real estate and these things, you got to maximize your tax-free
You
money.
told me 200. Now you're only saying 50.
No, whatever the
so-
number per paycheck. Maybe it's 100.
If you want me to go back
you
to
make
50, that's fine.
Well, I can lower your salary and then you can put 50 in. How about that? So, so we did 2 of the big 5 ideas.
Okay. Next is rich people, and you can kind of answer the difference between assets and liability with this. The rich people acquire assets. Poor and middle class acquire liabilities, and this is like in general. I mean, that they think are assets. So if we can kind of discuss the difference between assets and liabilities.
I give you an example of a asset that is really a liability. A car.
Right, that's exactly
Chanel
what
purse.
it talks about. Yes.
A Rolex watch.
Exactly.
Or a diamond. Like a diamond's a good investment. No, it's not. It's a shitty investment.
So here's a good thing.
I love
Jeff said
diamonds.
an asset is equal to something that makes you money passively. That's an eye opener. He said, I need an associate in a multifamily ASAP.
I don't know if you
Oh,
need
I agree.
multifamilies.
So-
That'll probably
No,
cost you money.
multifamily.
No, like
home.
a townhouse.
Multi-
So you can like
townhouse.
rent it out.
I
So-
agree with him.
So that means an associate is an asset.
So it is. So
assets
It
start
makes
off
you
as
money.
liabilities in the
Yeah,
beginning.
right.
Okay. Before something can become an asset, it has to be a little bit of a liability.
Right.
But Jeff is absolutely correct, and I didn't see this until probably 8 years ago, probably 2013, 14.
who showed you?
No one in this room.
Was it
I'm
when
kidding.
she had all those other providers working for her while
it's
she was gone?
Beach house.
No,
The
I'm
beach
talking
house.
about associates.
No, she's talking- yeah.
So my goal for all dentists is to never work alone again.
Right.
You know, for me, everything's gonna be about dentistry because that's the audience I typically speak to. And it doesn't mean physically poor, but the poor dad is the dentist that's always the associate.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
rich
no,
dad-
not even that.
Right.
They could be just the dentist, period, who owns the practice.
Right.
They're so
Without
what,
an
Back up. So the
associate.
poor dad is
Yeah.
the solo dentist.
you're
Right.
just working. That's
Yeah.
all you're doing.
That's
Under
what
this
he's saying. You're on the
hamster-
same page.
Hamster rule.
But
hamster
never get out
rule.
of. But you never get out of the cage.
No, but what she's saying, she's correct. I said it's just the associate, and she said no. It's also the solo owner.
Right.
The solo owner will only make money when he or she is there.
Right.
So I had
the
that happen.
multi-doctor owner will make money, or at least not lose money, when you're not there.
So my dad passed away, and when he passed away, I had to be in the hospital for 2 months with him, and I would be nowhere else. Like I could not imagine anywhere else, and I'm so glad I was able to do it. I was able to do it because I did have people working in my office. However, the model wasn't completely right because I could not break even without me being in the building because I'm like a hustler and I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'll see anyone and I don't care, come on, bring them in. And it's not just money, but I feel bad for people. So I'm like, just come on in, come on in. I will figure it out. And everyone hates me, but whatever, my employees. But point is, I realized that after the 2 months there, I barely broke even. And then I was like, this is stupid.
It's semi-smart.
I mean, at least I didn't lose,
Right.
but at the same time.
At least it wasn't closed.
It wasn't closed. It kept going. But what I'm trying to say is I'm taking all this liability on, and yet I have to be the one working there. Otherwise, it doesn't really stay afloat. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? And so that's kind of where we have to figure out how to do that. And so when our associates or our employees ask, why do you have this product and why you have this product? Because I'm taking all the risk. Do you know what I mean? It's not because I'm trying to be cheap. It's because honestly, I'm taking all the risk, and I have to find some way to make a profit, right?
Yeah. So I want to translate what you're doing to share some of your success with everybody. Your big success came when you added verticals within your practice. In other words, the typical psychiatry is med management or psychotherapy, but Mona psychiatry is much more than that. There are different verticals within there.
Yeah.
So like in dentistry, that would be
orthodontics,
the
Implants.
sleep, ortho implants, things like that. Those are different verticals that produce additional revenue.
So with psychiatry, it's not procedure based,
Right.
right? So it's literally me going in, seeing a patient, me going in, seeing a patient, me going in, seeing a patient. So if I don't see patients, I don't make money. But adding these other products into my office has kind of made my office profitable. So is it necessarily that the associates make my office profitable? Maybe not. Maybe I break even, right? But I'm able to have freedom. But all these extra things we're doing in the office are actually where the production's coming in. So that's what I've learned this time, is that it's not, you have to kind of figure out how to work smarter, not harder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know that's one of your sayings, but it's really true.
We're getting a lot of comments on a post that's not coming through Restream.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a shared post. So Dan Gilvery says hi. Please say hi to him. And Justin Moody said he needs things like Fireball.
We got it.
Justin's
Come on down.
And a lot of people are saying the hamster wheel.
Yeah.
Jeff said that the practice is not an asset. It takes me on it takes the hamster wheel to run.
I disagree with that. But
owning the building and having associates makes it an asset.
I half agree with that. I half agree with that.
I agree.
Can you give me some ideas for passive income being an associate dentist? If
Yeah,
there are
absolutely.
any?
Investments.
Yeah.
So if you're an associate dentist, then you got to make your money work for you in other ways.
Right.
And that is whether it's through the market, whether it's through townhouses, whether it's through real estate, whether it's through any number of things.
Side business.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to have
Online.
a side hustle. That was a huge discussion here. He was like, do not give up the ability.
Yeah.
Like your job, you need your job. You need a source of income.
Yeah.
However, you need to take a part of that income and do something with it.
Yeah.
You know, if you just spend that, you're going to be in the hamster wheel. And so it's about buying an asset that's going to make you money, and that gives you the passive income. So that asset could be real estate. It could be stocks. It could be, what else? I mean,
Online store, drop
online
shipping,
store. Oh,
Amazon
she's the queen of that.
FBA.
Yeah. I mean, it's a side hustle. You need a side hustle.
It's really easy. That's not hard.
Oh, should I go number 3? So number 4, financial aptitude is what you do with the money once you make it. How you keep people from taking it from you, and how to keep it longer. And most importantly, how you make money work for you. So it's the same thing over and over again, right?
Okay, so I want to give a specific example there. So when you give money to the government early, that's money that's not working for you. So, for example, insurance companies literally
hold it.
They make money by keeping your money a week longer,
Right.
3 days longer, 4 days longer,
Months, years.
Oh no! Well, let's not even
don't
go
know.
there.
Yeah.
Because they start having to pay
Sometimes.
back interest on that money,
But
Yeah.
they're
but they don't have to pay interest on the 2-3 days or the week or whatever it is. So one of the things that I try to work very hard on is to minimize how much taxes I have to pay during the year, and I'd rather pay bulk taxes at the end of the year. And I know a lot of people don't like to do that, but I prefer to keep my money in my hands so that I can earn my 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%, whatever it is. So why give money to somebody else until you absolutely have to? So that's one aspect I would say. Little things that make the difference.
The single most powerful asset is our mind. That's one of the things he said in there. So now I'm going to go to...
Wait, repeat that again.
The single most powerful asset is our mind.
That's
And
important.
what do you always say is your best investment?
Is you.
Yeah.
Because no matter what happens...
Or the people, or your people.
Right,
You
or
and
the
your people.
People, right?
Yeah.
But no matter what happens...
Oh, your people are
Your
like
brain,
huge.
I want my brain to always work.
Right.
Right, but my hands may not be able to work. I physically may not be able to swing my golf club anymore. But you know,
The golf club wasn't making you money.
listen, I made
Don't worry.
like $20 the
That
last
is
time.
a liability.
What about that golf tournament?
I
Did
made
you
like
win your,
$25.
That's a liability.
I was gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. I was gonna say $100.
Oh, this man. No.
There's money flying through here like I've never seen. I was gonna say 100.
Oh, because of that. Yeah. So,
Are there any more of the big 5 ideas?
well, I think, okay, can I just go back to something?
Yeah,
The
you're in
single
charge.
most powerful asset is our mind. I think that is what our parents taught us, at least. They were huge education. One thing that was told to me is, I don't want you depending on a man. And it's not a man like, oh, I'm a woman and, you know, woman power. It's more like...
Insert T-Bone's eye roll here, just in case you're only listening.
No, but it's
not-
more that
but I
we were
agree with
taught.
you.
So I grew up with a dad and a mom who had 2 daughters. Shut up, okay? Some people don't grow up with a dad and mom.
Yeah.
So they
me
had
too.
2 daughters.
3.
You had 3 daughters. I mean, your dad had
Yeah.
3 daughters. But we were taught to be the sons. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we were taught you need to go to school. You need to be able to hold your own. You don't know what could happen to your husband. You don't know. You know, you should be able to pay your bills.
I was just gonna say my mom couldn't pay a bill. My dad said you need to know how to run a business.
Yeah. And then when I actually met Thurn, I was like, I don't know if I really want to work. You know, like
Oh boy,
yeah.
Mona, what did I say to you when you said that?
I am not gonna marry a housewife. And I don't think it was because he looked down upon housewives. He just didn't want me in his
He
head.
wanted a sugar mama.
No, I didn't.
He wanted me not to nag him.
Yeah.
That, and then I also wanted her to be protected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I
And
mean,
successful. He's
you.
supportive of you.
yeah.
Oh, thank
I
you.
mean,
He's proud of you.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
Maybe.
it
Yeah.
tells other people.
He tells other people, but
Other
not in front of
people.
your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So,
I'm going to put a question up.
okay, yeah.
This is what I
I'm
want to talk
excited.
about.
Oh, what? Yes. What is an income generating asset? That's a really good question because ultimately this is what we're trying to work on, right? So, what is that? So for me,
Yes.
an example is our beach
Thank you
house.
for asking
I know
me.
I can't stop. I'm a big mouth. So for me, our practices obviously, but for me, when I started,
practice is a job.
it's a job. It really
Okay,
is.
our practice. Let's be clear about this. A dental practice, if you're by yourself, it's a job.
But some people, they
What did you buy? Drive-through.
drive through. So
Chick-fil-A. That was our lunch.
So apparently, well, some people own their businesses and they own the property, right? That their business is in. And then if they sell their practice, they still have
So
that
then
property.
they're their own landlord then.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of,
Yeah, so, absolutely. So
because you can save taxes.
well, there are certainly depreciation and cost segregation that can be done with owning the building. Absolutely.
But those are important points, right?
So what else is an income generating asset? Our beach house that
Our
we
beach
purchased.
house.
Yeah.
So,
Vacation houses.
Yeah. So I'll tell you the story about the beach house.
But I
Tebow-
wouldn't encourage people to go buy that as their first thing, personally.
No, but that's what we did. So we'll tell you. Well, not kind of. Okay. But anyways, Hootan, I don't know if you all know Hootan, but Hootan was over.
He's my Persian Mexican friend.
He's not Mexican.
I know he's
but
not.
Hootan was over, and I had happened to go to the beach that weekend with my girlfriends. Liked her house a lot. Decided I was going to look at some houses. Met a realtor. Started to go look at houses. T-Bone didn't know any such thing was going to happen. I decided to make an offer. Did not call him. It was one of the gutsiest moves I've ever done because I haven't even bought a car by myself, you know? And so
I was with you.
Yeah, and I made an offer on our house and I lowballed because I'm Indian and we lowball. We don't listen to anyone. So I lowballed and they accepted it. And I was like, oh, shit. Now I have to tell T-Bone. So I came home, and I didn't have to tell just T-Bone. I had to tell Persian Man, too. So Hootan and T-Bone are sitting there, and I was like, so I have something to tell you.
I have an idea.
Wasn't
That's
an
past an
idea.
idea.
Gonna need a down payment. I've bought a beach house, and it's gonna be amazing. And actually, he kind of trusted me. It was surprising. He wasn't upset. He was like, "Oh, okay. I guess we'll figure it out." And we did. And honestly, it rents. It pays for itself. It actually
Well,
it does pay for itself.
Let's be clear about
Well,
it.
because-
It does not pay for itself.
Yeah, it does.
It does not.
Yeah, it does.
It would if
It
you
would
rented.
if I rented it, but I don't
all
rent
the
it
time.
sometimes. Like COVID, and what was I supposed to do? We couldn't go anywhere.
It doesn't pay for itself by being rented the 12 weeks of the summer.
No, it does. Get over yourself. Anyways, okay. Well,
Okay,
this is
I
not
paid
an
the
argument.
bills.
This is not an argument.
Okay,
Pay the bills.
so here's a couple more ideas people have.
Very close to pays for
a
itself.
shooting range in rural Tennessee.
Oh hell!
But
So-
we do
That-
get
wait, someone owns
depreciation.
that?
That maybe it was an idea. Maybe
Or maybe they want to
Brad, do
go.
you own it?
Yeah.
I think I was gonna say franchises.
Or maybe
Businesses
Brad
that
wants
people
to,
run.
Maybe Brad
Restaurants.
remembers your guys' picture at the shooting range in
yeah.
rural Tennessee.
So Rich Dad actually.
Rick Sullivan took us shooting in rural Tennessee, so we have been to our own private.
So I would
shooting
consider
range.
guns not one of those the fake investments.
Right. Yeah, but if he owns the shooting range, people are paying
No,
to
that's
go shoot
absolutely.
at.
Apparently silver's
Oh, he's
really
working
big.
on it. He's going to be buying one.
Oh, good.
So Millie said a rental house. Somebody said property, Bitcoin,
Bitcoin, yeah.
stocks.
So let me tell you about Bitcoin. So I got really excited about Bitcoin, and I didn't know really what to do. So Bitcoin was about $43,000, and I was like, I heard it's going to go to 150 by the end of the year. So I was like, I'm just going to put $1,000 in it. And as soon as I put the $1,000 in, it went down and down and down, and then it went to like 30,000. But it's slowly creeping back up.
So now you should buy more.
I'm thinking about buying more.
Don't think, just do it.
I know, but it's stressful.
Don't worry, Brad. We're not going to take your shooting range idea, but
We might.
we'll come visit
kidding.
you.
I'm kidding. But no, we just did. So yeah. I mean, I think other businesses too. Like Rich Dad in this story or like book, he had many. He would diversify.
Yeah.
So he had restaurants and he had what else? I think he had like moving company. He just had a whole bunch of different companies.
Businesses that run themselves.
He had great managers. That's a huge thing. That's one of the best things. If you have an amazing manager,
Restaurants are hard.
but if you have an amazing
I
manager,
think right now is a great time to be talking about restaurant
No, but
business.
I'm talking about
the
Rich
profits
Dad.
aren't good before COVID.
No,
Like,
no. I'm talking about Rich Dad.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, Rich Dad.
Yeah.
He
So
didn't have
we're,
one.
we're
thing.
getting a little bit off on a tangent.
I have
so
a couple
Actually, it was part of the
areas.
story.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was.
I have a couple of quotes I wrote down that I thought were really good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Going
yeah.
backwards
Oh,
a little
let's
bit.
go, yeah.
I don't have to read the whole thing. But one of the things I liked was if you learn life's lessons, you'll do well. If not, you will just continue to push around. People do two things. Some let life push you around while others get angry and push back. They just push against their boss or their job or their husband or wife. How many people do we know do that because they're they're mad at not each other, but they take it out on each other. But really it's life, and they're taking it out on the people
They love.
around them.
Because you can't take it out on your boss sometimes.
They don't know that it's
a little
life.
risky.
They don't know that it's life pushing them. So they push out back on the people.
So
they
flip
welcome
the
life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it means that they need and they want to learn something. The people who push back know that they want and they want to learn something, and they move on. Most quit and few fight. So I thought that was cool because
And then the other
it happens to so many people.
Yeah, people will get frustrated and quit. So this is the thing. There's something called the cancel culture, right?
Oh, God.
I do want to say
Here
a
we
couple
go.
things about the cancel culture. No, it's not Jesus Christ. This is the reality of our life and our children and our coworkers. And the thing is, people cancel people because they're not good enough. Their job is not good enough.
Right, but this is why the $15 they're blaming.
Oh, God.
They're blaming.
Let us move forward here.
No, they're
to-
blaming their boss for not making $15 an hour. You're not working. You don't deserve it. You're not working.
Okay.
So
hard
let,
enough.
hold on.
That's what
this
the
is
story
super
says.
important. This is
story
super
says.
important. And even if
They're
you get
blaming
that
their
raise,
job and their boss for their
hold
low
on.
pay.
This is part of the book. You might not have read it, but I'm just saying. But the one thing is, by getting a raise, do you actually make more money? Do you have more money in the bank? Tell me about that. That's something you talk about a lot. Giving someone a raise doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to use that money wisely and start
More money, more
investing.
problems.
So that
was
doesn't
Big Papa,
it's
right?
not enough to change their life.
What was his name?
No,
B.I.P.
because
B.I.G.?
people do the same
Notorious
thing.
Right.
B.I.G. More money, more problems.
People do.
Yeah, but I think they mean like a lot more
Yeah,
money. This
that's
is
different.
usually like not a lot more money, and
No,
so
but
it usually
it-
isn't enough to change their life.
But
All
ra-
people do is get more money and spend it.
Right.
I'm not
That's
saying
what-
they shouldn't get raises. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that.
I'm not saying
But
that
anyway,
either.
I want to, please.
No, but the book. If you read the
People
book,
who work for money, a little bit more money
We're
does not
renting.
change their life.
100%.
more money or a raise seldom solves money problems. That's what I was saying.
Yes.
The book has a quote in there that says that.
Yes, there's a systemic issue typically involved where people keep spending money and borrowing money and putting money on credit cards and not saving for the rainy day, and then a water heater breaks or a tire busts or something like that happens, and then their problem becomes your problem as the employer. And I remember hearing that all the time, where somebody will be like, this happened in my life. Hey, can I get some money from you? And blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I want to come back to this. What is an income generating asset? Let's give a few affordable ideas. Things like townhomes, I think the rental market will always be very good. So if somebody can have some townhomes, or if they have a little bit more money, some small apartment complexes or multifamily complexes, I think storage rentals are an area where you can develop income generating assets. And even if you don't have a lot of money, or you're not completely you have some risk issues or risk concerns, maybe even being a partner in some of this. Maybe you get 4 or 5 people together and you go into buying townhouses. Because let me give you the example here.
You have to put less down.
Well, let me give you the example here. If for example, how many more years do you think we'll be working? 15?
I don't know, forever.
I need you to work forever.
Let's call it 15 years. Let's just say 15
sure
years.
we're
I'm going to
working
need you
forever.
to work longer than
We
that.
don't look like the retired
Let's go 15 years. Let's pretend that we make a commitment today that every year we're going to acquire 1 townhouse for rent.
Remember what I told you?
I know, but let's just say that we do. So that way, when we get to retirement age, we'll have 15 townhouses.
So to me,
And the renters are going to be paying for your townhouse.
So they'll be paid
You'll
off
get
by
some
then.
depreciation.
the Bur Method.
And then, well, that's resale. I'm not even saying resale. I'm
no,
saying
it's not. You're right.
there's also something about not flipping things.
Right.
There's a value in not flipping and selling things. There's a value in taking the cash off the top.
No,
This
I'm
is
not
one issue I have with some people that want to build DSOs. They have the model that, hey, I want to build, and sell, and that's fine. But I'd also rather hold on to something that's producing money.
Your
and
dad
keep it.
taught me something. Okay, one thing he taught me is I was starting to open different offices, and then COVID hit. But whatever. So it didn't work out the way it was planned. But your dad told us that he has all these hotels he's partners in, and he'll make 50 here, 50,000 here, 50,000 here, 50,000 here. 50, you know,
Well, negative something somewhere.
or negative, but in the end, it averages out to an income, right? So if, let's say, we get a rental property and we make 12 there, that's what we take home. It goes back into the mortgage, whatever. But the property is going to appreciate. So in the end, so it's like holding in the bank, but getting some return. Get another one, do the same thing. Get another one, do the same thing. So a lot of the people in our office are starting to buy homes. And so a lot of their homes are those homes that people are dying to have because they're in that price bracket, you know? So sometimes, like if you're ready to buy a bigger home, let's say you have some children now, like maybe you keep this home. You try to figure out how you can keep that home and rent it out. Right, and then that becomes your first.
So let's use an example. Okay, I don't think she'll mind me saying this out loud, but imagine if Liz had kept that first townhouse she had.
I know. We talk about that all the time, and she totally could have.
Yeah, because
she's someone who was able to.
Yeah,
she was.
Not only that, the thing was free because the rent would have paid the mortgage.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and then, so I don't know the exact numbers, but let's say that townhouse was $100,000 8 years ago. That
now
townhouse
it's
is 220, 200,
almost 300.
220.
It's inherited,
right?
Yeah.
So it was probably 150 at the time.
Yeah.
So that's double. So that
not only are you getting the rental, but you're also appreciating your money. So your money is making you. Basically, your assets are making you money, and that's just passive.
We'll argue that the best way to earn a passive income, in my opinion, is real estate over the long haul.
I think so.
I don't think stock market is that great because you have to put up 100% of the money to get the return. With real estate, you typically have to put up 20% of the money to get the return. Not even
anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I think once you get past your
get
past your primary residence, then they're not going to give you a zero down loan. Yeah. They're going to start asking for 15, 20, 25, 20. As you get farther along. In that. So Brad Anderson wrote, treat it like an annuity. If you have a property or an asset that is producing income, treat it like an annuity and allow it to produce them.
Tell us what an annuity is.
Annuity is something that pays you money annually.
Okay.
So for example, you could have $1 million annuity where you put $1 million into a policy, and on average, $1 million is going to give you $50,000 a year in money from that $1 million without touching the $1 million. So if you have, for example, $1 million worth of townhouses, on average, that should give you a $50,000 of annual income from those townhouses. And you just keep it there over and over and over again and just keep collecting money, and you never sell it because it's
making you money.
It's making you money. So, honestly, the only time you should sell something is when you have something to do with that money.
Well, okay, so let's talk about 1031 exchanges.
Yeah, so we just went through a 1031 exchange. So
what's the benefit of a 1031 exchange,
so-
and what is it?
So again, I'm not an expert or an accountant. I want to clearly
But it
state
doesn't matter.
that.
We're just kind of talking about it.
I just want people don't think I'm, So anyway, 1031 exchanges. So basically, for example, I'll just use rough numbers here.
And that's saving taxes.
So we bought a beach. Let's say we bought a beach house or a rental property for $250,000. Okay, and then we rented it, made some money, blah blah blah. And we're ready to sell it, and now we sold it for $400,000. So there was a $150,000 gain that you're responsible for taxes on. If you sell that property within a year, you pay ordinary taxes on it, your standard tax rate. If you keep it for more than a year, it's subject to capital gains tax, which right now is roughly 20% or so. Now, if you don't want to pay those capital gains, the 20% on the $150,000. So in that case, in this example scenario, that would be $30,000 in taxes. So we think we made $150,000, but $30,000 we got to give to the government, and then 5% of $400,000 we got to give to the real estate agents who basically just sign papers. So, and nonetheless, no, I mean, I'm just saying
they can be your partners.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. They help you.
They bring it.
Things.
They bring you the results. So if you want to avoid paying the taxes on the gain, you can do what's called a 1031 exchange.
But you have to use the whole amount.
Yeah, so the 1031 exchange is then you take that $400,000 and you buy a new like property, and then now those $150,000 in gained income is postponed until you finally are done with all of this buying and selling process.
So you keep like adding basically.
Yeah, so we just did a 1031 exchange. We sold one of our rental properties, and then we ended up just tomorrow we're buying a new building. So now we're going to put it back into that to avoid the tax on the gains.
Well,
of
using
the rental
system.
property. Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong in it.
No.
There's laws. And that's why in the book they talk about corporations and the power of a corporation and how you use that in your favor. Can you talk about that?
Real quick, I'm going to come to that. Remember I was saying mo money, mo problems? Matthew Standridge corrected me. He said that was Puff Daddy, actually.
It was. Oh.
I'm not sure that wasn't
I feel like we need to
Notorious
look
B.I.G.
that up. Let's look it
Smalls.
up. I'm looking it up.
I think that was Notorious B.I.G.
I have to look it up. Okay, money.
Joe said the more you make, the more you spend. Most
That's
people.
so true.
Taylor said storage
Notorious
units.
B.I.G.
Yeah, I told you, Matt. It wasn't Puff Daddy. It was Notorious B.I.G.
Oh wait, yeah, no, it's Notorious B.I.G. We'll just go with that.
It might be sung. It might be written
I'll
by.
be missing you is Puff Daddy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so a couple
Get
people
straight.
have said, where can they find associates?
Yes,
I know it
let's talk
always
about
goes
that.
back to that,
Yeah.
but I think
See,
for
my
a
dentist
dentist,
wanted to talk
that's their,
dentists, right?
but
Oh,
for
I
a
know.
dentist,
I mean,
that's
I
their
get it.
first
No, I get it.
place, because I think that gives them the leeway to get out of the office a little bit, to be able to have the free time to do things like this, right?
you get an
They
associate-
can't even go to the beach to find a place to.
So you can get an associate for multiple things. One, you got too much business. You want to be a business
Right.
person. Two, you want to focus on more specific procedures. Or three, you want to get more time off to focus on your side gig.
Right.
You know, whether
Yeah.
the side gig is your family or whatever it may be, your side gig, right?
Yeah.
So here's what I'll say, and I'll say this. I learned this I got corrected by my wife. Sit up so people can see you.
Oh,
please.
sorry. I was listening intently.
I think the mistake we all make with associates, and I did it for sure, is that we're expecting perfection or we're expecting people like ourselves, and that's our first problem.
That's not going to happen.
You're going to have to learn to accept that associates are associates.
And there's
Generally
nothing
speaking.
wrong with that.
We don't nobody wants two of you.
Yeah. No, hell
We told
no.
you that a long time ago.
Hell no. But the truth is you have to realize that people have strengths. Stop looking at their weaknesses. Look at their strengths. And I feel like work with their strengths. And this is with anyone you work with. Like, we are so picky and we're so looking for perfect, and there is no perfect. So instead, kind of find their strengths and work with that. And honestly, you'll do better with your associates. I really believe that. I think I've watched you go through associates, and you're trying to look for someone who's going to do what you're going to do. But then if they start doing what you're going to do,
Then
you're
what are
going to
you
hate
gonna
them.
do?
Well, I don't really like that
and
either,
you're
right?
going to hate them
Yeah.
because he wants to do what he wants to do. So really,
And you don't want to do what you want them to do.
no, and you want someone who's going to compliment you.
Right.
You know, and so ultimately we need people.
And by
to
the way,
compliment.
there's nothing wrong with being an associate forever.
Oh, I love associates.
no,
They're
but there's
great.
nothing wrong with being one forever.
Right, because then you could invest
some people
in
aren't-
other things if
Some
that's
people
not your
aren't,
business.
aren't cut out to own practices.
I love being an associate sometimes. I go work at the hospital. I get a paycheck. I have my own business. I don't need to do it, but I'm all about a side hustle. And so I go and I work at the hospital, and it gives me a change a little bit,
Yeah.
and I get a check at the end.
and then you could use that for your real estate.
Or a Chanel bag, but you know,
Right.
but real estate now,
Yeah.
But you know, ultimately, I do that so I have some change, but I also don't want to be in control of everything. You know what I mean? So an associate's a great thing. That's fantastic.
but more, I think, yeah.
No, but it is.
Associates are, I don't want to say
Sandy
that.
says, how do you keep associates?
By looking at their positives.
Yes, by looking at their positives and
Stop trying to make them.
and going into it knowing that on average you're going to cycle through associates every couple of years.
Yeah, that was my big learning lesson, actually.
I told you that
Because
from
they
my own
grow.
experience.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like more from my experience.
Well, I started first.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
we'll go with him.
Okay.
He's the winner. He's the
Okay,
winner.
he wins.
But
Okay.
honestly, I just do. I used to put my heart and soul in each person, and I still do. I mean, it's just both of us do. I think we just want to love.
Well, I've taken a different tack than that now. I put into them as much as they asked me to put into them now.
Yeah, well, I think I go whole heart, and I really do, and I get hurt, you know, when they leave. But you know what I realized is, you know, I'm a stepping stone for people, and so if you look at it that way, that you're a stepping stone, you've helped someone grow, and they're opening their own practice, or they're joining another team. They have learned. You're part of their journey. And so instead of looking at it as a disappointment, just say, okay, it's time for a new journey. You know, it's time for me to help someone else.
We talked about that the other day with team members too,
Yeah.
not
Absolutely.
just providers.
It's okay.
And I said,
it's
why
all
would
of-
anyone want to go anywhere
There's a lot of
else?
reasons why people want to go somewhere else. But anyway, so back to my dentist friends here is here's what I say about associates. Number one, you're always never ready. So just do it. Let's see what happens. Number two, stop looking for perfection. When people say I'm looking for the right associate and it's your first one, I laugh because you have no earthly idea. Which just take anything at this point and work through it and see what happens.
But didn't you learn from that?
You have to. That's it's the first step, right? You've got to break your virginity in that sense. You have to. You just got to go through it. And
Well,
then
that's awkward.
I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody
I'm
in this room
joking.
has broken their
I'm
virginity.
just kidding. Keep going.
I actually wrote a blog on that if someone wants to read about it.
So, and then here's where you can find associates. First and foremost, I think with social media, you just put the word out. Okay. You just literally every week write a blog post. Sorry, write an ad.
Just write it.
Just
Not
write
an
a-
ad.
no,
Just say, hey, who-
So post and say, hey, sell your personality. This is what office is doing. Wouldn't you want to be here? Blah, blah, blah. Number two, contact all your reps. Whether
Reps
it's from
are
your
your
distribution
partners,
reps,
yeah.
whether it's your implant reps, whether it's your Bur reps, I don't care what it is.
Or your
just
drug reps.
drug reps in the medical world, let them know because they're in touch with people and they know who's unhappy and happy where they're at.
Well,
and
they're
then number
out and
three,
about.
put an ad out in your local dental society. Okay, do those things first, and then put an ad out in Indeed or whatever it may be. But I think or headhunters. So if you start with those three things first, I think that's the easiest way. And I get really upset when people say, "Well, I'm going to start looking in the summertime." I'm like, just start looking now. Go through the process. Get some reps at doing interviews and stuff like that. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
I'm
ma'am,
a
for
big
God's sakes.
fan of the rep way.
Yeah.
Because your reps are kind of your partners. Some people don't believe that. They think they're selling them something and they just get frustrated with reps. But I think reps can be your biggest partners because they know your style. They know your office style. They're going to 100 different offices, you know, during their month, right? They know their styles. So they know who's going to a good rep is going to be really good at reading people, right? Sales reps read people. So if they can read people and they can put you two together, like that is the way to go. Indeed, all this stuff, like, yeah,
It's
good.
impersonal.
No, you need it. You need it because sometimes you can't do it this way. But if you can get a partnership with a really good rep, you are going to do the best service to your practice. You know, don't you agree? Mm-hmm. I think so. Because I think the best people we get are usually through our reps. I really hate going through the impersonal way.
And I've had a few people say rural is harder. Absolutely.
I agree.
100%.
Then you have
it
to
is.
go out.
But
also
you got to not stop. You got to not stop.
But these forums that you have, you guys are starting a community, and so that community that you guys. No, hold on. No, but you both are starting a community, and I feel like this 3D dentist community is a great way to network and say, hey, do you have a dentist? Do you have someone you know? Do you know any new graduates? Do you know any new graduates? Like we're
interviewing somebody to move from San Francisco, hopefully.
Yeah. But we have 2 dental schools right around us, and some rural people don't. So they can reach out to you. They can reach out to you. They can reach out to
that's how
community.
the young dentist came to the office yesterday.
Yeah.
His professor at the dental school he's at said, hey, you should go follow this guy. And so he came over.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit about your community that you guys are developing?
Yeah, so we're developing a community that's going to be separate from social media, where like-minded individuals can come together and share their struggles, share what's going on, and we can engage in deeper conversations.
And it'll be kind of more private,
I guess.
Cases.
And being able to share cases, being able to share 3D data like x-rays and say, hey, here's what I would do here.
Kind of study clubbish.
Yeah.
Virtually.
So kind of
that's
like
really
a book club on steroids.
Yeah, so it's really, I think that's the best way, is we should really call it a study club.
I don't like study club. It sounds so...
But that's what dentists love. Dentists love study clubs.
No, it's not a study club, but it's a discussion.
It's so nerdy.
But it's somewhere where, like, look, if a psychiatrist, if we had a group like that, it'd be so fantastic. Physicians just don't do that good. It might be, but physicians,
dentists are so cool.
No, dentists
are so cool.
It's not even that they're cool, but you have a great community, and you guys actually will share things with each other, and you learn things from each other. Yeah. So to be able to find like-minded people is really hard.
Yeah.
And so because
cut through the noise of the naysayers and the people that are saying that dentistry is so bad right now. I'm like, it's not. It's great. It's always been great.
Yeah, somewhere where people feel safe to fail.
Yeah, safe to fail.
Like a comfort zone, like where they can go where they've had a bad day and reach out and share this and feel comforted.
Or where here's what I would like to say about our community, our country, and this is a little political.
You're allowed to.
Okay.
I mean, we got to do it. We got to. It's going to come out.
Our country has come to a point where we are disdainful about people and their success. And sometimes where people want to be more successful, they're hesitant to put it out there. They're hesitant to ask advice because they don't want to
show it off. But they're not trying to show it off, but just live their life.
Yeah. So we want to create a place where people that are interested in being successful can be safe to talk about what it takes to be successful and how they can be more successful and not worry about hurting other people's feelings and shit like that.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
And it's okay to be rich. Like sorry, I just have to say this too. Like people have made a point. They've said things like, the rich people, they're not talking about us. They're talking about these like billionaires, which we are not even. So it's okay. But sometimes it's like you don't know what's right and what's wrong, because everyone's judging everyone. But like this is what you want a community for. So you don't feel judged. And you can literally open up and say what you got to say. And no one's judging you. And they're saying, hey, how can I help you succeed? Yeah. Let me pick you up, you know?
I want to make a comment on the associate real quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Associates don't have to be full-time general dentists. Associates can be once a month specialists that come into your practice.
That would be awesome,
or twice a month specialists. We got to stop.
You had a dentist who used to come and do root canals, remember?
Absolutely. And I used to have a dentist that used to come in and do extractions and stuff for me. And so don't think of associates.
Especially in small towns.
Yeah.
That's a really good way.
And you can fly people in.
Yeah.
I mean, I know dentists I know some people, and I met a dentist in Wisconsin that used to fly somebody in to their location to work for a Friday and Saturday, and it was clearly worth it for them.
Honestly, small towns are where it's at.
Yeah.
It's where it's at.
So let's talk. You have anything, Meredith, while I put the next thing up?
The comment went away. People keep commenting on a shared post. They're not coming up on our... I can only see a few comments at the time. So
I'm having fun today.
Maybe it did come up. So
Michelle,
Brad said
next
add
time.
Incentive for rural. Give them a home to live in.
Because I can do this.
So if you are interested in investing in real estate and you buy a multi-family townhouses or something, and then you hire a associate, give them a place to live for a year.
Amazing.
Add an incentive
See, thinking,
as part of their salary.
I like that.
Remember, new grads have no money. I'm rural.
I love
and there's a bunch of
that.
retared dentists in my town. That's where I found an associate.
That's amazing.
Good
It
ideas.
is.
I believe
Perks.
the riches are an hour and a half outside of bigger
But that's a
cities.
super
Right.
perk, right?
Yeah.
Like you're kind of helping someone out.
Like if I moved to Smithfield tomorrow,
Oh, yeah.
we could
Rocky
be booming.
Mount, where
we
Doc
could be
is.
booming,
Yeah.
We're booming. You know, if we moved to Raleigh and open a practice, it's gonna take some time. All right, you wrote down taxes, Mona. Let's talk about taxes.
So,
Why'd you write that down?
because everyone thinks okay, I'm going to go with Donald Trump, and I know everyone,
Oh, my
people
God.
hate him, people love him, whatever.
We
I don't
just
care.
lost all our viewers.
No, but I literally,
Millie said we are the poor rich.
Yeah, we are.
we're the poor rich. Okay, so Donald Trump he said this in one of his debates. I take advantage of the systems that the people have put up in front of me. So, yes, he may have not paid taxes, but that's what corporations can do.
That's
so
the
he
rules.
didn't do anything. Maybe he did something illegal. I don't care. But my point is, many people use those benefits, and they don't have to be huge businesses. It's small businesses. Look, the cell phone, my cell phone is paid through my company, right?
Maybe not the Louis Vuitton case, but
but
just the
and
phone.
it's fake. It's fake. Don't worry. But
that
it's not
Izzy on
fake
the front of
because
your phone?
and this is Izzy, my employee. She's really cute.
She's a psycho.
But no, she's not. No, she's amazing.
She's a
But
stalker.
anyways, point is that
She
your
will
phone.
likely stab her one day.
my hoe phone.
Yeah, her hoe phone. So basically, our phones are expensed through the company, right? Through an S corp, you can do a lot of things.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of that. Like, what are some things that you can kind
Yeah,
of?
I try to write off everything. I don't really want to
we
tell the
don't-
IRS all the things.
No,
I'm
we don't
doing.
write off everything.
That doesn't
whatever.
sound like a good idea.
But there's things you can
Right.
write off. I mean, I know everyone hates that man. I get it. Okay, not everyone. But at the same time, I mean, you can learn
Probably
from
about
people.
58% of the country.
No, but you can learn from people, and I'm not talking about
40
Donald Trump, but you can learn
51.
learn from small business owners, big business owners,
Yeah.
and talk to them, learn from them. You are as good as what the people you have around
Surround
you,
yourself
right?
with,
So
yeah.
you've got to ask questions, make friends with people who are doing better than you.
Yeah.
So because then you're gonna learn, and then you're gonna be able to take that. So keep growing. And so taxes is a huge thing. You just have to learn the different techniques. Like if 1031s go away, which I heard that might happen, but there will be another loophole. So you just have to keep researching, keep reading, don't stop.
Here's one thing I'll say I got a couple of comments on taxes. They're somewhat repetitive. But the first thing I will say is don't avoid earning money or doing deals to avoid taxes.
Okay, so that's a point
That's
in
actually
this.
in here,
That's actually
yeah.
a point. So what they say is higher income causes for higher taxes. This is known as the bracket creep. And I have heard this so many times from physicians. Well, if I take that job or if I do this, then I'm going to make more money and then I'll be
But
in
I
a
have to pay
higher
more taxes.
I'm going to have to pay more taxes, so I'm not
Yeah.
going to do it. Well, I think that's stupid.
Yeah.
I do.
So that's my first part of taxes.
But I get it at the same time.
My
'cause you-
second part of taxes is take advantage of the rules legally,
yeah.
maybe even skirt the line of gray.
Well,
Okay.
this S corp, right? So you can have an LLC or S corp on the side, your side hustle. If you're an associate, I'm just talking about for associate.
Yeah.
Let's say you're an associate, you can still have an S corp or LLC, and you can work through that. You
Right.
can you can be what, a 1099
So you
employee.
can get some
Yeah.
advantages of the.
Right.
It's hard there's some rules around associates being able to actually be 1099s, but you can have a corporate pass through so that you can write some of your things off.
Or you can moonlight.
That's or moonlight, and that's where you really want a tax professional to help you with that. So that was my second comment on taxes. My third comment on taxes is maximize out whatever the government allows or your work allows you to do of tax-free
Oh,
tax
yeah,
deferred
absolutely.
savings. Okay, so whether that's as simple as your $5,000-$6,000 IRA, whether that's as simple as your $12,000 to $19,000 401k plan, whether it's whatever it is that you have, don't get caught up on these. In my opinion, these whole life insurance policies and all of these things until you have consistently maxed out your tax deferred savings.
But
okay?
I've heard-
and here's why. even if you're in a lower tax bracket of, let's call it 25 to 30%, every dollar you don't give Uncle Sam, it's a 25% return that you've gotten. Now, you're going to eventually pay taxes on it. I get that, okay? But let's let more of your money work for you sooner and quicker.
Can you talk about compound interest?
Yeah, so basically compound interest.
And talk about vehicles of compound. Sorry, I just have a lot of questions. So I've heard of compound interest. They talk about it. You've talked about it many times. I want to explain that.
Yeah.
You know?
So compounding interest is basically that your money, $1,000 turns into $1,007 year one. It doesn't turn into $1,014 year two. It actually turns into $1,015 because you earn some money on the $7 as well. And then you're doing this on a monthly basis.
When do you double?
So the rule of 72 is when you double. So if you have a annualized return of 7%, then you'll double a little over every 10 years. If you have an annualized return of 4%, then you'll double by whatever 72 divided by 4 is. That's 18 years. So that's typically when you'll double. So that's the rule of 72 is when your money will double. And so I don't have the statistics in front of me, but if we save our IRA money for our kids, the $5,000-$6,000 that we can do from 0 to 18, if we put $5,000 a year in for our kids, so that's 5,000 times 18 years, that's 50 plus 40, that's $90,000 that we put in for our children, okay? If we put $90,000 in for them, then they will have over $1 million by the time they're age 60.
60.
Yeah. So that $90,000 turns into $1 million. So I remember when.
But that's something we can do too. Like, I mean, all of us, right?
So we should all be doing that.
And
so remember that first fancy car I ever bought, Mona? I used to hide it from my parents. Mm-hmm. My dad told me that car cost me a lot of money because he said I could have not spent it and put that money away. And
your dad also didn't want to buy a house because he thought it was stupid because he could live in the motel and, you know, so, I mean, and there's nothing wrong in that, but I'm just saying.
That's the story of every Indian
No. And there's nothing wrong in that, but you know, you do have to kind of pick and choose sometimes. Sometimes you're like, okay, this may actually be okay for me to spend on.
So Brad said he would buy the home. We're going backwards a little bit. With his real estate company, and his business would pay the rent to his, so his dental office would pay the rent to his real estate business for the associate to live.
So it's a write-off.
So then it would be a write-off.
Perfect, yeah.
So think about
it.
it.
But then it's income on the other end, but there's some rules about how much income you pay.
But it might just be mortgage.
But it would be a huge incentive for the associate because he would have to be paying the associate, say the rent was $2,000, right? He'd have to be paying the associate like $2,500 because after taxes, more to be able to pay the rent. So it's kind of a win-win for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And well, nonetheless, he's gaining an asset that hopefully appreciates
is going to
over
make
time.
him money.
So I don't know. I think anything else we want to talk about today? Anything? Let's pick maybe one topic.
Jeff
each.
said a HSA is the best tax advantage asset out there.
I don't know. I think that I very hesitate when people use words like best, because to me best is what fits into someone's plan. Yeah. And that
would mean you'd have to go to the doctor where they stick you with the needles, you know, where you don't like to go.
Yeah, like I went there. I got my second shot.
Yeah,
right
but
here.
you were supposed to go get your blood checked.
Was I supposed to take it off?
It wasn't like a big.
I want to know. I want to know where it is so I can identify.
My husband said that he tried to get me to live in a camper, but I also wasn't having
That's
it.
a little extreme.
No, it's not. None of that stuff is extreme. Those are very smart.
Hey, look,
can you see me living?
No,
in
she
a
made
camper?
I could. And you know what? You'd be richer right now.
You know.
Okay. I could also live in your basement or my parents' basement. We did
You
that.
could live here and I wouldn't even notice it.
I've got a question. This is something. What is the
You
difference?
get one topic to talk about.
I know, and I'm going to say it right now. So what's the difference between rich and wealth? Does anyone know?
I can tell you. I don't know the technical answer. I would say we're rich right now, but not wealthy.
So I think rich is, I don't know, even like there is a difference. Wealth is generational, I think, and rich is just now.
Well, I will argue that
So
we're
you
rich
rich
because
people-
we're only rich because we're working. But if we
That's
stopped
what
working,
I mean, generational.
if we stopped working, we'd stop being
So
rich.
we are not wealthy.
Wealthy would be
Generational wealth. That
not
your
just-
money makes money for you.
Well, not even. I think of generational as what you're leaving.
Sustainable.
But in other words,
Sustainable,
like for example, my dad is in a sense wealthy because when he stops working, his
His money
motels
keeps coming
So
in.
his
example.
motels are going to continue to provide him some type of revenue.
So example.
Some type of income.
So
Well, not you, because
Him, yeah.
So
No, I
my
mean you.
parents always looked super rich because they went on fancy vacations and we had nice jewelry and we had beautiful house and we had fancy cars, you know. But that he made a good income. My mom made a good income. We never wanted for anything, but he looked rich. Whereas some of my uncles didn't spend that kind of money, worked all the time, whatever. And they may be more on the wealthy side. Does that make sense? I mean, my mom and dad did well, and they saved a lot, and so they're fine. No one's struggling. But what I'm saying is, there's people who
Well, they put the money to work for him instead of spending money
Yes.
right.
on
So but they
vacations
didn't
to South
travel,
Africa.
and but
Yeah.
we went to South Africa, right? So, but honestly, I'm okay with that. Also, you know what I mean? I'm okay with that. I
Yeah.
want to do a little mix of both.
if you met my dad and his brother lives on the farm in Nashville, never moved, lives there.
Nashville, Tennessee.
He's
North
probably got tons
Carolina,
under his mattress, you know?
Tons and tons.
Yeah.
My dad bought boats and cars and houses.
But I don't
had
think
3
my
girls.
dad regretted it.
No.
You
He
know
had
what
3
I mean?
girlfriends.
Yes.
So stupid. But
He said he had
anyways,
3 girls, didn't it? Did
So-
you hear that, Michelle?
I do-
Might as well have.
I do think we find a happy medium because I do believe in experiences. I
Yeah.
think
Right.
experiences are big.
Memories. Yeah.
And I think this new generation, you guys,
Yeah.
are into experiences. That's
Yeah.
one of the big things. There's actually a small house movement. You
Right.
know, people don't
Tiny
want
houses. I want to
Not-
buy some tiny houses for
Not
our new
quite
property.
campers.
No, but
Not
people-
quite campers.
Yeah. But people don't want
I
a
want to
house
get
like this.
I want to get some she sheds.
Okay,
Yeah.
you know what this is? This is a money pit.
This is a liability.
My house is a money pit.
Yeah.
100%.
And if I
it's a
were to do it
liability.
again, I'd probably buy a smaller house.
I think we can put it on the market tomorrow.
I know. We're not going to. Because my children are here and they're comfortable. But if, let's say, we
They
weren't...
disappear in this place.
Yeah, which is quiet and nice. But what I'm trying to say is that, like, if I were to do this again, this was a poor investment.
Yeah,
Do you
100%.
agree?
A home is a poor.
We
I
should be
believe
living-
a home is a poor investment.
No, but we should live in a smaller home, simple, and then guess what? How much we'd have in the bank? You know what I mean? So you can look super rich, but are you wealthy? You know what I mean? And wealthy is something that you do want to strive for because your children are taken care
Warren
of.
Buffett
and
drives an old pickup truck.
Okay, that's a little extreme. He also
lives in the same house.
yeah, and that's just
I don't want that kind of money.
Yeah.
So I'm okay. But I do want, what's it called?
Mona, you played the lottery. Clearly, you want that kind of money.
Sometimes I believe that. I mean, it's $1
Yeah.
billion.
Yeah.
But I didn't win. Safety or like security is what
Yeah.
I want. I want my children to be secure. I want to be secure.
I want to not have to go to work.
Right.
I want to choose to go to work. Yeah.
he wants to live the
okay.
resort lifestyle
To be
and
honest,
work when he wants.
yeah. But all of us here, including Michelle, we love what we do.
Yeah.
You know,
We want to work, but we
we-
want to choose.
I wouldn't not work if I won
Right.
that $1 billion.
Yeah.
I would not
I'd show up to work the next day.
I'd
Yeah.
still show up to work the next day because work.
We'd be
gives
doing
me-
free hybrids everywhere. Hybrid here, hybrid there. Everybody gets a
I
hybrid.
didn't get paid one time, and I still came to work.
But he does that sometimes. He forgets to do payroll. But no, he pays everyone.
He pays everyone. Don't worry.
But to be honest, like I really do think that we're working so we can have the security.
Yeah.
But we also are working because we absolutely love what we do.
I'll add one thing to what you said. I think when you make more money, when you invest money, you buy real estate, you support the overall economy. So when we bought this investment home tomorrow,
But
we'll
not
s-
this.
No, but even this one, but an investment home, we will support a landscaper, we will support a pool company, we'll support, somebody that comes and cleans the house. So and we will make money on it, right?
Oh, I thought you were cleaning the house.
Yeah, right. I don't clean my own room, much less my house.
So I took away something from this because it's kind of related to me. It said, I recommend young people to seek work for what they will learn more than what they will earn.
That's very true.
Look down the road at what skills they want to acquire before choosing a specific profession, before getting trapped in the rat race. So I think a lot of times people think of like plumbing and those types of things. And I did go to college and all that. And then I became an intern and worked at the office.
But that's
and I
what-
kind of went backwards, but because I went backwards to
You
go
went
forward.
You go slow down
Yeah.
to go faster.
Yeah.
And my mom, her
Yeah.
famous saying is, you can have fun now
Yeah.
or you can have fun for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And she used to irritate me like nobody's business when she said it because I just wanted to have fun.
Yeah.
But she said you can have fun now.
Madonna,
Madonna,
No
Shadana.
more Madonna Shadana.
But she said you can have fun now or you can have fun for the rest of your life. And I say that to my patients. I say that to my children. I say that to everyone because it's so true.
Yeah.
You know, so really, and that's basically what this book is saying. Like, you
Yeah.
know what? Sometimes you have to work for free. Sometimes you have to volunteer and you have to get the experience.
Yeah.
You know, it's
I
not
used to
about
say,
the money.
Liz, why are you so nice? Why is everyone so nice to me? Besides the fact that I cleaned up after everybody. I'm like, why are you so nice to me? She's like, you're going to be my boss one day.
Isn't that amazing? So you should be proud of yourself that people saw that drive.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's not about like working at the hospital. I make more money working at home, working at the office, but it's not about the money.
Yeah.
You know,
So here's my takeaway from the book, is that
that you read.
is that
Sorry, I have to.
my takeaway from the book is that
you're a little bit of all of it.
I have
A good
become a
medium?
little bit more poor dad mentality.
It is a mentality.
As I've
is,
made
It
more,
is.
as I've made more
It's
money,
not a state. It's a mentality.
as I've gotten more comfortable in life, I've become a little bit more of a poor dad mentality because I've allowed the busyness of everything around me to lose sight of the big picture, which is to not have to work, to choose to work. So I'm making the commitment that I will put X dollars away every month, and I will get people around me who will help put my money to work for me. And for me, that happens to be my wife. But for you, you may say, hey, I don't know the first thing about real estate. I don't know the first thing about this. You can partner with people. You can learn from people. People want to help you be successful. You know, I remember talking to a guy that used to build commercial real estate, and I had lots of questions for him, and he was so happy to tell me.
Oh,
And-
people are so
and
nice.
people-
we were talking about this the other day.
Yeah. And so I think there's no shortage of the ability to learn, and there's no shortage of the ability to be an investor with smart people, because there are
People want to teach.
there are people that need money, not
Yeah.
because they're poor, but they want to buy a $15 million hotel, and they need 15 people to put $100,000 in, you know, or whatever it may be,
Yeah.
to pool money together. So
That would be $1.5 million.
yeah, but
No,
that's
but-
what you need for the down payment.
Down payment. Yeah.
You know, or whatever it is. Maybe they have $1.5 million,
Okay, got
and they
it.
need some more money,
Yeah.
right? So don't let your lack of knowledge or your whatever it is stop yourself.
But I also
from being
think these same people, these successful people, they actually want to help because it gives them purpose too. Because
Yeah.
it's not all about the
The
money.
money. That's what I was thinking.
You
Like they
know?
want to
They
mentor these
want
people.
to.
We were talking about that. I was saying Taylor was asking somebody he used to work for help on
Who's his competitor in a sense,
right on a hardscape or something. And I said, you know, everyone who's used to work for my dad still goes to him about stuff in a profession he's not even in anymore. And you said everyone who works for your dad still goes to them. And you were like, they love that. That fulfills them, right? They don't need the money. They're older. They don't.
Well, it's not even
they
whether
don't
they
want to
need
go
money,
out to the job
but
and
they
just do it.
They want to share.
That
what
makes
they've
them
learned.
so proud that these people that used to work for them still value what they taught them.
The
right?
first step to getting a mentor is to ask somebody to give you some
Yeah.
advice. and
What are they
some
going to
help.
say? No. Most of them
Move on.
will say yes.
Yeah.
Probably 95% of them
Yeah.
will say yes.
And you got to make it easy for them to help you.
And honestly, one thing in this country that we need to be better of is talking to our elders, you know?
Yeah.
Asking them questions, learning from their mistakes, because they can teach us things. And I think a lot of times, our parents, our grandparents, they just get kind of like put aside, but we really can, talking to them makes them happy and you learn.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. Well, everybody.
Do you want to introduce the book we're going to be?
Yeah. Let me do that. Thank you, Meredith.
Yeah.
I knew I had you for a reason.
Yeah. Book we're going to be reading.
They can't see it.
It's a little glary. There we go.
Our book.
Are you guys ready? Drum roll.
Who picked this one? Mona, you picked it? Meredith picked it.
Meredith picked it.
Together we picked it. We're a team.
Okay.
We're a team.
So
always.
for the month of February, because we'll do this, Michelle will schedule it and put it out. We are going to read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, and then I will encourage you to purchase the book or get it on Kindle.
Audible. Audible's fantastic.
Audible, Kindle, paperback, hardback, Barnes. I'll encourage you to buy it from your local bookstore. If
you could
have a
rent it
local
from your
bookstore.
library.
Or you can go to the library and potentially get COVID buying it. I don't know if they're open right now. But we want to do Atomic Habits. I promise you within a few months it'll be my turn to pick a book, and we'll pick a dental book.
Oh, we're gonna read Paul Homily. I grew up on Paul Homily. Remember when we got married? I was like young, so I grew up with it.
We might read Pascal Magnier,
we've
Anterior
already-
Restorations.
We've
I
already
don't know.
read all these.
I'll be skipping that.
We've
Michelle
already
will
read
sit here.
these.
I'm not going to read anterior restoration.
I'm kidding. We're not going to do that. But so just because my wife is,
Endodontics.
God knows what medication she's on. We're going to be doing Atomic Habits for the month of February, and we'll be back the first week of March, and we'll be talking about Atomic Habits.
And I have to say, we had a really good time. I hope you all had a good time. I hope someone watched. And I think a lot of people made comments, so they must have watched. But if there's a book that you're interested in, write it in the comments. If you have questions about this book or, even any book, write them in the comments. It helps us have a good discussion.
If you know the author of these books, we'd love to have the author on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you want to be on, you can be on.
Yeah, we can have you call in.
Yeah, that would actually be really fun. So
Yeah,
if you
we're going
want
to try to
be
make that
on-
happen. I know how to do that. We'll do
Yeah.
a Microsoft Teams.
So if you want to be on the Atomic Habits one, please let us know.
Brad asked if he gets CE for this. You don't. But if you come to Raleigh to join us for a 3D dentist course, I can give you CE.
And join their community.
Yeah.
Bye,
don't know what it is.
everybody.
Bye.